But I do think that we've seen in Australia not just the current generation of students going through school, but a whole generation before that who have been given the reduce, reuse, recycle message, have taken that to heart. And yet those individual actions alone, in my view, are not sufficient by any means, are very short of being sufficient to address the magnitude of the problem. And I think that's borne out by the fact that in Australia we've seen steadily rising carbon emissions, and we're also seeing steadily rising waste, in particular e-waste, which is headed for landfill. And these problems can't just be solved by the choices of individuals or individual household consumption. They require society-wide measures to reorganise how goods and services are produced in our society and how waste is disposed of.
So why have we seen that increase in waste if individuals are focused on reducing or increasing their recycling or reducing their own wastage?
Well, I think all the focus on individual action focuses on household recycling, and there is a strong track record in Australia of households using their recycling bins.
Yeah.
But there's not such a strong track record by business, which produces roughly half the waste in the country. Household waste is some 40% of waste produced. That's just at the waste end, but it is also undeniably the case that household consumption hasn't gone down, even if households are recycling more.
Yeah.
And that's got to do with the fact that households really don't make the decisions in our society about how goods and services are produced, marketed and sold. So we see this quite ridiculous situation where supermarkets seem to sell an ever-increasing volume of foodstuffs wrapped in plastics, and we just don't have we as individuals, we may have a political democracy, but we don't have an economic democracy. We don't get to say directly to the producers of those goods that enough's enough. We will no longer put up with you wrapping things in plastic that could be produced in a much more environmentally friendly kind of way.